Hello and welcome to week 83, living with Alzheimer's. Here we are today, a beautiful, beautiful winter's day, and the sun is so intense out there and in the wrong place that I've had to sort of try and jiggle this camera around a little bit to try and stop the glare. But yeah, very, very sharp frost last night, but a beautiful day today. I just watched last week's video, and yeah, it's strange how sometimes the days that are not always the best for me seem to be, I suppose, the most educational for everybody else. And thank you for all your comments and everything from last week. It really does mean a lot. Now, over the last few weeks, I've had quite a few questions about eating and drinking. Does my dementia affect the way that I eat or drink? And I thought I'd just cover that a little bit this week. I know a lot of people have trouble with swallowing, I believe, with dementia, but I personally haven't had a lot of trouble with eating. Eating seems to be okay. I can do that pretty much all right. I forget to eat, but we have different reminders in place, as you know, for that. But drinking, now that's a different thing. Over the last, I suppose, few months maybe, I have found that drinking is not as easy as it was. Drinking and breathing seems to be one of the key problems that I have. I can sip a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, no problem at all. But if I want to drink some water or anything like that relatively quickly, I start to drink, but I don't seem to be able to breathe at the same time. So by the time I'm halfway through, I'm desperate for air. So I then stop drinking and sort of gasp for air. I don't know whether this is something that happens to other people or not, but it's obviously something that has changed over the last 6 months or more with me. So swallowing is okay, and eating is alright, but I do find that I bite the inside of my mouth constantly. So I do have to focus on eating. I have to concentrate not to bite my mouth. Otherwise, if I sometimes lose that concentration and start to eat a little bit faster, then I bite the inside of my mouth. And it doesn't matter whether it's left, right, tongue or whatever, I constantly bite something in there, and it is very, very painful, and it can bleed a lot as well. So yeah, so I don't have a problem swallowing as such, but I do bite the inside of my mouth, and drinking and breathing at the same time seem to be a difficult thing to put together. Something else that I've found over the last, I suppose, half a year or more is that when I used to sit passenger in the car, everything seemed quite normal and fine. But I find now, as I sit passenger in the car, everything seems to be very fast. It seems to be difficult to process the speed that stuff happens. Roundabouts, junctions and all of that sort of thing. And I know that I would never drive anymore, but I was always comfortable with speed, 40, 50, 60 miles an hour. But now I seem to be quite uncomfortable with that, and it is as though it seems to be a lot quicker than it actually is, a lot faster. And sometimes I get a little bit anxious, even though I don't shout, and my wife is a very, very good driver, but I just get anxious with what's going on around me. I suppose it's a thing of not being in control or not being able to focus on that control and have the ability to manage it, I suppose. It's as though everything seems to be, as though it's gone up a couple of gears, and everything seems to be very, very fast. The pace of life seems to be fast for me. I try and slow it down, and but you know, cycling is my own pace, so that's good. So I don't have to worry so much about the speed and that sort of thing. Cycling in big groups has now become difficult. Cycling with a couple, 3 people is fine. So I think the amount of information that I have to absorb in any one time, the ability to do that has started to change. But you know what? As always, it's always onwards and upwards, and yeah, we just carry on. Yeah. It's too good a day to focus on the negative things. It's a sort of day where really you just think, you know what, it's good to be alive, with dementia or not. We'll make the best of it. Anyway, hope that answered the question about the eating and drinking. As always, do have a great weekend, a wonderful week, and I will be here next week with 84, I believe it is. Wow, how these months and weeks fly by. It's unbelievable. Thank you so much for listening. See you all next week. Bye-bye.